next to me, he's just the same, just the same.
Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 428th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Just before I introduce the teams, I'd just like to say on behalf of myself and our Brotherhood clan, we would like to wish you all a really happy Christmas, and whatever you're doing, we hope you have a really great time. Okay, I think Christmas is a special time, and as I say, on behalf of the Brotherhood and myself, we all hope that all of you have a really great time over Christmas. Okay. Our first teammate is Brotherhood member CORMAC. A lot of you will know CORMAC, been in a Brotherhood for a long time, and he's bought the Egyptian faction. Now I think he's a brave man that brings Egypt up to the 31k battlefield to start off with, but also on a winter map. Okay, let's have a look at his Pharaoh guards. Okay, now Cormac's got 6 Pharaoh guards, and if you notice, they are fully upgraded. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so he's got 6 Pharaoh guards, he's got 8 Pharaoh archers. Okay, if you notice, his Pharaoh archers are also fully upgraded. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now, pound for pound, I rate these archers, these bowmen, these Pharaoh bowmen, as probably the best bowmen archers in the game. Okay, so, and also when they run out of arrows, they can be really tough light infantry as well. So he's got 8 of them. So he's got 6 Pharaoh guards, 6 Pharaoh bowmen, and he's got 2 heavy cavalry, which I believe are Nile cavalry there, and he's just got 6 upgrades on those. Okay, so that's an interesting Egyptian army build there, but I think, as I say, I think it's a brave man to bring Egypt on a winter map, and as we know, they are classed as a lesser 31k faction, so it'll be interesting to see how well CORMAC does during the course of the battle. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member AURELEUS, and AURELEUS has got 12 infantry, 4 archers, and 4 Roman cavalry. Okay, just make a note of that. Not Praetorian, 4 Roman cavalry. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his infantry. Okay, I believe he's got mixed upgrades. You can see he's got 7 upgrades. He's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on some of his units there. I can see several of his units with gold shield, gold attack, and an experience stripe. But also, I see he's got some units, if you notice there, with 1 upgrade, and another unit there with 2 upgrades, which I'm pretty sure will be his pilot shield units there. Okay, so that's some interesting upgrades there, and I see he's got an eagle unit as well. Okay, so he's got a legionary first cohort, and he's got an infantry general as well there. So he's got a lot of good upgrades there, and a lot of good morale going on with the eagle unit and the general unit there. And as I say, he's just got 4 cavalry. Okay, let's have a quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. And just got 6 upgrades, but if you notice, they are Roman cavalry, not Praetorian cavalry. Yes, they're heavy cavalry, but they're nowhere near as good as Praetorian cavalry. Okay, so my guess is he's bought these heavy cavalry because they are cheaper than Praetorian, so he can put more upgrades on his infantry. So that's an interesting army build there. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Lee. Now Lee has got 14 infantry and 5 cavalry, and if you've noticed, the old school Roman armoured cavalry general. Okay, as I said before, up to about 8 or 9 years ago, we always used to bring this Roman armoured general cavalry unit as our general, but maybe about 8-9 years ago we then switched to infantry general. So this is genuinely old school. Okay, this is out of the old school drawer here whenever you see Lee bringing the this type of cavalry general. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does with that. So that's another interesting army build there. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought his old Greek CITES army of 14 Spartans and 5 cheap archers. As you can see, this is fought on the grassy flatland map, so it's not a custom map. As I say, it's a very old army. You know I like to bring my old armies and old formations to the modern day battlefield to play good players. So there's our team. Should be a great one for you to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at my old school Greek CITES formation here. That maybe I started to do this formation maybe 14-15 years ago when I played with Greek CITES all the time, hence my name, Spartan Commander. If you look at the formation, can you see that for spears or pikes, as we've talked about this before, the flanks and rear are always the most vulnerable parts of a pike or spear formation. So if you notice there, can you see how I've turned the two units on the flank slightly inwards there to try and protect the formation from flank attack? Okay, and that seems to prove quite effective there with those couple of units turned inside. It stops them being attacked on the flank so easily there for if the enemy tries a flank attack. So as I say, this formation is tried and tested, and it seems to have been quite effective over the years. But as I say, you can see that I can protect the flanks with those two units there. Plus, I've got a bulk. So you've got 3, 6, 9 units there in the main formation. So when I want to attack, that whole army then moves forward in a massive punch into the enemy. So it's quite a good formation for both defense and attack, and it seems to work quite well even after 15 years. At this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at CORMAC's Egyptian formation here, which is quite unusual. He seems to have clumped all his spearmen and bowmen into one big group. So it'll be interesting to see how that does as the battle opens. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member MYSTIQUE, who has bought 18 urban cohort units and 2 cavalry. Okay, 18 urban cohort units and 2 cavalry. Now, those of you that like statistics, 18 urban cohorts equates to 1,476 urban cohorts. Okay, now each one of those urban cohorts can throw 3 pilers. Now that equates to 4,428 pilers. Okay, so 4,428 pilers can be thrown by all these urban cohorts. Now just say 1,000 of those are death throws, if you like, or kill throws. So they could kill 1,000 of our team without even getting into hand-to-hand combat. So that's a heck of a lot of firepower that MYSTIQUE's brought to the battlefield here. As I say, 4,428 pilers. So as I say, a lot of firepower. But will 18 infantry make up for just 2 cavalry? I guess we'll just have to see as the battle unfolds. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member BARC. Now BARC's got 10 Silver Shield Legionnaires and 4 Silver Shield Pikes. Okay, so it's an unusual army build there. Let's say 10 Silver Shield Legionnaires, 4 Silver Shield Pikes, and he has got 2 archers and 3 companion cavalry. Okay, so they get upgrades on his pikes there, and he's just got 6 upgrades: gold shield, gold attack. Okay, and his legionnaires have got 7 upgrades on there. So they've got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so that's quite an unusual army build there. And his companion cavalry are fully upgraded. Okay, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack for his companion cavalry. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. Okay, now their third teammate is Brotherhood member MADKING, who has unusually bought the PARTHIA faction. Now for this battle, MADKING has been talking about bringing PARTHIA for a long time. So what I did as I was a host, I changed the rules for this game and have given him a 2 LE max. Okay, now I also gave him a no cavalry max as well on this. As we know, their eastern infantry is a bit naff really. So their strength is elephants and their cavalry. Now MADKING's got 2 elephants, 6 cataphract cavalry. So have a look at the elephants there. Okay, so these elephants here have got, if you notice, they've got 2 archers in the carrier on top of the elephant and the driver. Okay, so not only have they got a massive attack when you auto-attack them, but they also can be shooting missiles into the enemy troops as well. Okay, as I say, have a good look at the elephants. You rarely see elephants in our battles there. So as I say, those elephants could possibly make the difference. As I say, he's got 2 of those. He's got 6 cataphract cavalry. And he's bought 2 camels as well, 2 camel cataphracts. Okay, now we call the cataphracts the tanks of the ancient world, but these camels are the tanks of the ancient world as well, armoured from head to toe, plus they bring a fear factor against enemy cavalry. Okay, enemy cavalry have got a fear factor when they encounter camels there. Okay, and he's got 10 archers. So he's got 2 camels, 6 cataphracts, 2 LEs, and 10 archers. I think that's a really unusual PARTHIA build there, and it'll be interesting to see how well PARTHIA does on the 31k battlefield with just a tweak in the rules there. Okay, their fourth teammate is Brotherhood member Mars, who's bought the CARTHAGE faction. Now Mars has got 16 sacred band spearmen and 4 cavalry. So 16 sacred band spearmen and 4 cavalry. There's the enemy team there. looks pretty good to me. And just have a look at Egypt here. As I say, Egypt formation there is unusual. The Egyptian formation there, I think, is quite unusual for a modern day battle there. But as you can see here, he's up against Parthia and Carthage on this flank. But with all those fully upgraded Pharaoh bowmen there, I think he could make quite a big impression, especially on those Parthia short-range archers there. Okay. You can see here CORMAC taking his Egyptian army over towards his allies' Julii army there. As I say, once again, really well done to CORMAC here. I think it's a brave man bringing Egypt onto a winter map and bringing it onto a 31k battlefield anyway. So it'd be interesting to see how well Egypt does here against really good players. As you can see here, the Parthia general, he knows he's only got short-range archers, and he knows he'll be outranged by the Pharaoh bowmen. So what he's doing is he's taking his archers in close, so that he can, start causing casualties to Egypt, and before those Pharaoh bowmen can start to retaliate. If you notice here, AURELEUS is bringing his archers forward here to try and counter those Parthian archers. But remember, MADKING has bought 10 of his short-range archers. So those short-range archers brought up close that can still do a lot of damage to our archers there. If you notice here, there's AURELEUS' Roman cavalry. Be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. You may well think about charging those cavalry into those Parthian archers there, as there doesn't seem to be a lot of support for them cavalry-wise, but we'll have to wait and see. As you can see here, there's 10, as I say, Parthian archers there, and that can create a lot of firepower. But they are only short range, so they've got to get quite close to our troops. And already AURELEUS has lost a lot of his archers to those Parthian archers there. You can see here that Mars has taken his 4 sacred band out up to the right flank there. But as it stands at the moment, it seems like AURELEUS and CORMAC's armies here could be facing 3 enemy armies here: SELEUCID, Parthia, and Carthage. Let's pause the game for a second. So you can see those Parthian archers there will be making a lot of casualties on, I think, AURELEUS' archers there. But as I say, there's Carthage, Parthia, and Seleucid here coming in on CORMAC and AURELEUS. Okay, so that's a lot of enemy troops there coming in on them. So my guess is that myself and Lee are running our armies over as fast as we can to this right flank. As you can see here, we're coming over as fast as we can. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. At least CORMAC's Egyptian Pharaoh guards, those spearmen, will be able to repulse elephant attacks. Don't forget, spears and pikes have got a good anti-cavalry and elephant bonus there. Okay, can you see CORMAC moving his Nile cavalry units forward? There was thinking about taking out those Parthian archers. But the Seleucid general spotted that and has put his pikes in wide formation to cover those archers as much as he can. Obviously, with wide formation there, he can take up more ground, as I say, cover those Parthian archers a lot better. But you can see here, AURELEUS here is on the other flank now with his Roman cavalry. Now, if you notice here how he's got his Roman cavalry in open order. Now, newer players for Rome Total War, why do you think he's put his cavalry in open order? Okay, why do you think he would have done that? Okay, it's the same as Polar Shield units. You put your Polar Shield units in open order because they suffer less damage from missiles. So that's why he's put his cavalry in open order there, so he's going to suffer less damage from archers than if he was in close formation. Okay, so that's why he's put his cavalry in open order there, to avoid casualties from those archers as much as he can. And so you can see him moving his cavalry over there. He'd love to hit those Parthian archers there, but I see that the Parthia generals moved some of his cavalry units over there to support his own archers. But as I say here, you can see CORMAC and AURELEUS here facing 3 armies. You see one of AURELEUS' archer units that have been reduced to 4 men. That's how many, as I say, 10 archers, Parthian archers, that are doing a lot of damage. You can see CORMAC's got his Pharaoh bowmen in close formation instead of open formation there, so they could suffer a lot of casualties too. Right, can you see AURELEUS here is going to take the battle to the enemy. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. You can see AURELEUS here being very aggressive. If you notice here, he's got legionary cohorts instead of Praetorian troops there. Instead of urban cohorts there. He's running those forward. He's going to engage those Seleucid pikemen there. As I say, you can see Aurelius deciding he's not going to hang around there. He is going to take the battle to the enemy. You can see both myself and Lee moving our armies over as fast as we can. Don't forget those Carthage Sacred Band units are out to our right flank, maybe looking to smash into our engaged troops when Mars is ready. Okay, so as I say, you can see the enemy moving towards our Julii ally there. As I say, Aurelius here being very aggressive, deciding to, as I say, take the battle to the enemy. He is now attacking those pike units head on. As I say, that Carthage, those Carthage Sacred Band cavalry there could look maybe to smash into his flank. They have to watch that carefully there. I see Aurelius is throwing loads of pilers into those silver shield pike units there. Probably going to cause a lot of casualties, may well even cause those units to rout with the casualties that they take, as we know they've got low morale. Okay, see that Carthage Sacred Band cavalry going in there. It would surprise me if this is a coordinated attack, and bang, as he smashes in there. As I say, it's a coordinated attack, and you see the Parthian cavalry charging as well, and bang, as they smash in at the same time. So he's just been hitting the flank by Carthage Sacred Band. He's being smashed in the front by the Parthian heavy cavalry and camels as well, smashing into his front. And he's taken a lot of casualties there. He's had a few of his units rout. Right, can you see here Cormac is moving his Egyptian army over to support Aurelius here, but Aurelius just got smashed there from the left, sorry, from the right flank there, from that Sacred Band cavalry, and he's been hit head on by that Parthian cavalry and camels as well. If you notice here, can you see that Mad King has alt attacked? Can you see his cataphracts are using the effective against armor maces? Okay, so those are very effective, a lot more effective than the light lances that they carry. If you notice the camel cataphracts as well, their riders also have been alt attacked, and they use those effective against armor maces as well. So make no mistake, they'll be doing a lot of damage there to Aurelius' Roman heavily armored troops there. Okay. So that was a nice coordinated attack there by Carthage and Parthia. Caused a lot of damage to our Julii ally there. You can see, as I say, both Lee and myself running over as fast as we can. But I say those Parthian heavy cavalry there with their effective against armor maces have caused a lot of casualties to Aurelius, his Julii troops there. Right, now can you see this one elephant unit is charging as well. Now look at the power of those elephants, throwing urban cohorts up in the air, look, as they charge in. And also, not only have they been alt attacked to charge, can you see their archers on the back of those elephants are still firing missiles as well. But you can see here there's a lot of our troops, Aurelius' troops and Pharaoh Bowman being thrown up into the air from the power of those elephants attacking. So to say, Parthia elephants look doing a great job here against our team. Just as I say, with a little tweak of the rules, look, can you see how you can make a so-called lesser 31k faction very effective there by just letting elephants come in there. So unfortunately for Aurelius there, he's losing a lot of his units there, being smashed by cavalry and elephants. As I say, Cormac's moved his Egyptian army over there to try and help Aurelius as much as he can. Aurelius charging those Roman cavalry, and bang, as that Roman cavalry smashes in there. But don't forget, those elephants bring a big fear factor as well. All our troops there will be having morale sapped from them, from those elephants. See that Carthage Sacred Band cavalry charging as well, and bang, as that smashes in again. I think Aurelius' army has held quite well, bearing in mind how many times they've been smashed by cavalry and elephants, and even more Sacred Band cavalry just charging in on them as well. Okay, Aurelius' general's just been routed. Right, can you see those elephants now are looking to charge into my Greek city units. So I must get my spears down quickly, or if they make inroads into my units, they could cause me a lot of casualties. So I need to get my spears down quickly there to face a threat. Okay, as you see, the spears have gone down now, and those elephants could die quite quickly on spears or pikes. Okay. But as I say, for all intents and purposes, if you look at Aurelius' army now, can you see that the vast majority of his infantry have now been routed? He's got 2 infantry units left. Okay, the rest of his infantry has now been routed in that coordinated attack by the enemy. Really well done to the enemy team there. Nice to see coordination there. Okay, you can see Cormac's Pharaoh Bowman are still shooting arrows into the enemy team. But look at Mystique's army with 18 infantry still lurking at the back there, ready to pull in. Now Mystique may well do a head-on attack here, or Mystique may well take that army round the flank. My Greek city units now are facing all four enemy armies: Seleucid, SPQR, Carthage and Parthia. Okay, so we're up against with Aureleus' army gone and a lot of the Egyptian troops routed as well. My Greek city's army is facing up, but you may well have noticed, can you see that Lee's army has not moved for a long time now? Okay, there's the battle over there where we're really struggling, but his army has not moved. And unbeknown to us, he had a very important phone call come in just as the battle started. He didn't request a pause or anything like that because he had to take this phone call. It was very urgent. But of course, his army, because he's away from keyboard, AFK, he's away from the keyboard there, his army just stands there because of course he's taking this important phone call, and we're fighting four armies over there on the other flank. So the chances are probably we'll be taken out before he comes back from the phone call there, possibly. So we just have to see what happens as the battle develops here. As you can see, Cormac's Pharaoh Bowman, they're going to be causing a lot of casualties to the enemy there as he's shooting those arrows into them. Right, can you see I'm moving my Greek city's army forward here to support Cormac and what's left of Aureleus' infantry there, those two units. Okay, so I'm going to be taking on Carthage, Seleucid, Parthia and SPQR here, which I'm not looking forward to. As I say, we're all hoping and praying that Lee's going to come back soon, because the situation is looking quite dire, I think, for our team. My arm is the only one intact in this part of the battlefield at the moment, so maybe I just need to hold until Lee returns. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. Right, can you see here, I've got my Greek cities there facing the Carthage, the threat of Carthage moving forward onto me. We've got some Egyptian units in front of my Greek cities units there, but as I say, we're hoping that Lee's going to return pretty soon as well here, because as I say here, that's the remnants of the three armies that we've got left there against all these. My guess is those Seleucid Silver Shield Legionnaires are still full of pilots to throw into my flank. They've got the big cavalry there, including there's one elephant unit there that hasn't been used yet, with that massive fear factor they bring to battlefield. And as I say, Mystique here, with those 18 units, could well charge either head on through the Carthage allies there, or come round the flank. But we just have to wait and see. I say those Seleucid Silver Shield Legionnaires there could be looking to flank my Greek cities units. So I just wonder what you would do if you were Greek cities at this time. Would you box up? Would you go into a defensive formation here and hopefully hold out until Lee maybe comes back from his phone call? But I can see those SPQR infantry coming around behind us. So that's a tactical question here. If you were in charge of my Greek cities army, would you box up? Would you go into a defensive formation here? Or what would you do? I don't fancy boxing up, because I know those Carthage Sacred Band units will be attacking me very hard there, and I think they could rout some of my units there with the weight if they attacked my defensive formation. So I'm not too keen on boxing up there. We don't know how long Lee's going to be. We didn't know at the time that he'd taken an important phone call, so we didn't know what had happened there. So what would you do if you were my Greek cities army there? Would you box up? Would you form a defensive formation? Nope, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the battle to the enemy. I'm not just going to stand there and let them have the initiative. I'm going to move forward and attack them. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. Okay, so these Silver Shield Legionnaires are going to be throwing loads of pilers into the flanks of my infantry there. So there's going to be I'm going to suffer loads of casualties there from those pilers. Okay, but I'm not just going to stand there and let the enemy have the initiative. I'm going to attack. So if you notice here, I've moved my whole Greek cities army forward. I'm tapping on each unit to attack those Carthage Sacred Band there. Okay, right, now Lee's come back from his phone call now. Can you see he's moving his army over here? Now, is he going to be too late? What do you think? Do you think he's going to be too late, or do you think he's going to make the difference just in the nick of time here? It'll be interesting to see. As I say, I'm just pushing my Greeks' units very aggressively, really attacking those Carthage Sacred Band units there. Now I can see the enemy SPQR moving around my flank. Okay, so pause the game for a second. So all those cataphracts, elephants and cavalry there have moved around behind us here, attacking our archers, attacking Aureleus' Roman cavalry, and doing a lot of mischief and mayhem in behind us. Mystique's 18 SPQR infantry is moving around our flank as well. Plus you've got a whole elephant unit there that hasn't been used yet, to be able to be brought into the fray as well. Okay, so that's 18 units of those SBQR units. Remember what we talked about with that? 4,428 pilers to throw. But meanwhile, Lee's bringing his cavalry infantry over as fast as he can against the Seleucids on my left flank. Okay, so as you can see here, this battle is really in the balance. Will Lee's return be just in the nick of time, or is it too late? What do you think? See Mystique bringing those, as I say, 18 units of SBQR units round my flank. I say Lee now, because he's late into the fraylet, is becoming very aggressive, and they're attacking those Seleucid troops with his infantry and cavalry there, trying to draw those Seleucid troops away from the flank of my infantry. Make no mistake, those SBQR infantry will be throwing pilers into the rear of my Greek city units. But still, I'm pressing forward against those Carthage Sacred Band units there. As I say, you can see a lot of cavalry, those cataphract Parthian cavalry there, plus there's Seleucid cavalry out there as well. Just pause the game for a second. So as you can see here, lots of enemy cavalry and an elephant unit there, sapping morale from our troops. Okay, Mystique is chasing down 2 Sacred Band cavalry units there, running with Sacred Band units in behind us as well. So as I say, you can see here that the enemy have got in behind my Greek city units there with all that infantry. Make no mistake, there will be pilers pouring into the rear of my engaged troops there. So things not looking very good. Okay, CORMAC spotted the danger and is turning some of his Egyptian units to face the enemy SBQR troops. But make no mistake, there are pilers raining into the back of my engaged Greek city units here. As you can see, Lee is advancing forward with his Julii units there, taking out the Seleucid infantry. But there's a lot of cavalry and elephants, as I say, plus all SBQR infantry in behind us. As I say, CORMAC here spotted the danger, look, and has put some of his Egyptian units, the only units he's got left there, to face the SBQR infantry in behind us. So you can see that Parthian cavalry charging in there. You've got Seleucid cavalry over there as well, attacking our Pharaoh bowmen, maybe even smashing to the rear of Lee's engaged infantry. Okay, I see Cormac's general's been routed there. Right, you can see all that Parthia cavalry charging in as well, plus that elephant unit coming as well. And remember, that elephant unit's got a big fear factor, sapping morale from our troops, and they're all charging into my Greek cities, and bang, as I smash in there. Okay, all that Parthian cavalry plus those elephants all charge into my Greek city units. Straight away, they've routed one of my units on impact. Okay, so there's a lot of cavalry, as I say, cavalry and elephants there attacking my Greek city units. If you notice, my units are frightened by elephants, so as I say, the morale sapping elephants there are attacking my units. So that's a small group of my Spartans I've got left. I've turned to face the attack of those Parthians there. I've stopped fighting the Carthaginians that were in front of me, and I've turned to face. And you can see all those cataphracts, both camels and cavalry there, have been alt-attacked using their effective against armour maces. But as I say, I turned my entire Spartan army there to face that cavalry attack coming in on me, and I've stopped fighting the Carthaginians at the moment. I needed to face the biggest threat coming in on me from behind there. Okay, Lee's moving forward with his infantry. Going to smash into the flank of those engaged enemy troops, hopefully. But you can see Mystique's 18 infantry units there, still fresh, still basically intact. And I've managed to rout the Parthian elephant and cavalry and camel attack that was coming in behind me there. But it has caused me a lot of casualties. Now I'm going to turn to face the Carthage Sacred Band again. Okay, so as I say, I had to turn my Spartan army to face the big impact of those cavalry and elephants coming in behind me, but I've now turned them back now to face those Carthaginian Sacred Band units. I think we've just taken out the Carthage general, which is good news for us. You see some Seleucid units charging into my Greek city units as well there. Make no mistake, I've suffered a heck of a lot of casualties here. Lee can see that. Look, can you see he's bringing his Julii infantry over to support my Spartans as much as he can there. Okay, he's got battle damaged cavalry, but he's still got cavalry there he can use around the battlefield. And that's a nice bit of support there by Lee, bringing his Julii troops over here to support my battle damaged Spartans. Okay, so there's a general view of the battle as it stands at the moment. Okay, you can see the enemy have got cavalry out to our flank there, ready to charge in, probably looking to target Lee's infantry. But as I say, Lee and Aurelius have massed their cavalry. Aurelius' Roman cavalry is still pretty good there, intact, and he's linked up with Lee's Praetorian cavalry there. But as I say, my Spartans there are at the forward edge of Lee's formation. Now, as you know, with these Spartans, I don't like to really go defensive. I prefer to attack the enemy, although there is a lot of enemy out there. Let's say you can see the enemy cavalry there trying to get around the flank of Lee's infantry there, looking to smash in if they can. But as I say, those of you that watch me with my Greek cities army, I don't really like to, as I say, I don't really like to go defensive. If I can, I like to attack there. You can see Mystique has put one of the infantry units in Testudo there, which is a classic defense against spear or pike attacks. You can see Lee's run his couple of infantry units forward to attack those SBQR units. So there's a general overview of the battle as it stands at the moment. Remember, we are Red, Julii and the Greek cities. The enemy are the Seleucid and SBQR units here at this time. Let's say I think most of the I think all the Carthage army has been routed, and I think most of the Parthian army has been routed. There's some Roman cavalry charging and bang! Nice hit there by Aurelius straight into the rear of that engaged Seleucid unit there. Okay, so nice hit with Roman cavalry. Right, I've decided now I'm not going to hang around. I'm now going to take the battle to the enemy again. If you notice here, I'm moving forward with my battle damaged units, and I'm starting to attack the enemy in front of us there. Okay, I'm going to go for that unit in Testudo. Managed to rout that unit there. I'm just going to keep advancing into the enemy troops here. Now, bearing in mind, if I do that, you see, I'm grabbing the initiative. I'm taking the battle to the enemy. So the enemy have got to react to what I'm doing. Pause again for a second. So as I say, I'm moving forward here. Can you see some of my units have only got 12 men in? 12 men in that unit. 12 men in that unit. 26 in that one. But as you can see, my units are pretty battle damaged here, but I'm still going to attack. I'm still going to make the most of those great attacking specifications that the Spartans have. Okay, and also help my teammate out as well by maybe taking pressure off my teammate, because the more I'm attacking, the more I'm grabbing the initiative, the more the enemy have to respond to my Spartan army there, maybe taking the eye off of what Lee's doing. So you see here, I'm advancing into that Testudo unit with my spearmen there. The power and force of those Spartans that breaking up that Testudo unit, plus Lee's throwing in Julii units here to support my Spartans. But you can see Mystique's moved the bulk of Mystique's army round the flank there to attack Lee's units. But as I say, all the time here, I'm advancing forward my Greek cities, trying to, as I say, grab the initiative and take the battle to the enemy. I don't want to stand around. I don't want to give the initiative to the enemy. As I say here, you can see lots of pilers raining in from Mystique's troops there onto Lee's. Look, see one of Lee's units actually routed from the casualties that it took from those piler strikes there. Okay, so you can see what Mystique is looking to do here, going to attack aggressively with cavalry support as well. See all the enemy cavalry shooting in as well. That's a massive infantry and cavalry hit going here. See that cavalry going in and bang as it smashes into Lee's infantry there. That's one massive hit. Okay, can you see Lee and Aurelius counter-attacking with their cavalry and bang as they smash into those enemy SBQR infantry and cavalry. You can see the enemy Seleucid and Carthage cavalry charging in as well. This is a real knife-edge battle here if you look. Okay, can you see I've up spears my Greek cities and I've run them into the fray. What I'd like to do is target that SPQR general if I could. Those of you that watch our battle videos know that I always go for the enemy general if I can. Okay, so I've up spears, ran my Spartans forward. As soon as I make contact with the enemy, I'll put my spears down, because that's their main weapon there, and I'll advance into those SPQR troops there. Always going for that SPQR general if I can. Right, see that Seleucid companion cavalry charging in and bang as it smashes into the flank of our engaged troops there. Nice hit there by the Seleucid general. Okay, so just remember here the enemy and the SPQR, the Seleucid cavalry and the Carthage cavalry there. Okay, and we are the red and Greek cities. Okay, so we're red Julii and Greek cities. So just at a glance there, you can see what's actually happening. You can see here I'm pushing in with what's left of my Greek cities army. I'm after that SPQR general there. Okay, as a lot of you will know that watch our battle videos, that's what I'm going for. But there's some SPQR infantry in behind my Greek city troops as well. So as I say, this battle is on a knife edge here. Okay, I can see a lot of the SPQR units starting to rout now. As I said, I'm going for that SPQR general. Right, I've routed that SPQR general now. Myself and Lee there attacking that SPQR general. So we've done well. And my guess is that a lot of those SPQR units will start to rout now. Now they've lost a general morale bonus. Plus Lee's going to charge his cavalry in there as well. And it wouldn't surprise me if that SPQ, and bang, as he charged in there, and those last of those SPQR units in that particular part of the battlefield have now been routed. Okay, so as you can see here now, let's just pause the game for a second. As you can see, I think our team has actually gone on to win. You can see there's been sporadic fighting all over the battlefield. You can see bodies there, but you can see where the main intensity of the battle was, and that's here. Okay, you can just see the massive piles of dead troops piled upon dead troops, cavalry, elephants there. As I say, it's a bit of a spread out battlefield, but the main intense part of the battlefield is just where we are all at the moment there. And at this stage of the battle, it looks like our team has managed to go on and win the battle there. So as I say, I remember when we saw Lee was AFK and we were facing 4 armies, and Aureleus' infantry got taken out and a lot of Cormac's infantry got taken out. I think we thought at the time, well, this is going to be a short battle. By the time Lee comes back, we'd have probably all been taken out. Just want to show you how battle damaged my units are. Like 8 men in that one, 8 men in that one, 19 men in that one left. So as I say, extremely battle damaged units here. From my Spartans, 25 men, that seems a lot now. 36, 23, only 8 men in that one. Look. So as I say, very battle damaged units there. And you see Lee suffered a lot of casualties as well to his units. So I say it was a very intense and I think attritional battle there. Very intense and attritional. You can see the piles there. You can see the intensity of the battle in this particular part of the battlefield there. Elephants, cataphracts, all kinds of infantry and cavalry there, all piled up in that particular part of the battlefield. Okay, I think there might be only one enemy unit left there, and that's an SPQR unit over there. As I say in other battle videos, you know when your team's lost, I think the best thing to do is just admit defeat. Let's get back into the lobby, host up a new game. Okay, that's always what I think here. But the SPQR general here, I think maybe just wants to kill this Julii unit. Maybe, and then just maybe just admit to defeat then. So that's the last of the enemy units there. Yep, there you go. Just taking out that Julii unit. Let's fast forward the game forward a little bit there. And there you go. Mystique has just admitted defeat. Okay, so it says average victory there. Now, I'd have thought that would have been a close victory. I don't know what you guys think. What do you think? Should have been close? I'd have thought it would have been close there. But it is an average victory. And remember, Lee there came, if you like, late to the battle. Okay, if you notice, Lee there came late to the battle, but look, he got the most kills, 1,981. Only 19 kills off of 2,000 there. So really well done to Lee. I thought that was great kills. But somebody else in this battle also did extraordinarily well as well. MADKING with PARTHIA. Second highest kills in the game against really good players. 1,550 kills with PARTHIA. So can you see with just a little tweak of the rules there, how you can make a so-called lesser 31k faction really effective. Okay, so 1,550. I think that's the most kills I've ever seen Parthia get. So really well done to MADKING there. I don't think CORMAC got the kills he wanted to with Egypt. And Mystique, bearing in mind that Mystique had all that infantry, 18 units of infantry, to only get just over 1,000 kills, I would think Mystique would probably be disappointed with that. As I say, CORMAC 699. I suppose that's not bad for Egypt on a winter map. He did quite well. I bet most of those kills were Pharaoh Bowman. So he did well with those there. And I'd just like to say once again on behalf of the Brotherhood and myself, happy Christmas to all of you, and I hope you have a really great one. Just like to say, going back to the battle here, I like the diversity of the units, the armies in these battles there. You've got Greek cities, Rome and Egypt, so it's nice to see that. You've got Carthage, Parthia, Seleucid and Rome there. So it's a very diverse battle there, and I hope you enjoyed this Christmas battle. I wanted to try and find kind of a special battle here for just before Christmas, and I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, I hope you all have a really great Christmas here. As I say, can you see, with just a little bit of tweak of the rules, you can make a so-called lesser 31k faction Parthia into a really effective fighting force. Spartan Commander saying bye for now. See you soon.